the lecture number 5. Okay, this lecture we will discuss about how do we evaluate the retrieval result given to us. Since different people will have different background, so when they evaluate the degree of relevancy of the document, it depends on the background knowledge. Okay, so Dr. Jekyll or Zul may have different perception on which document is relevant with respect to certain query. So for that reason, we need to have some metrics that can be used to define how important is that particular document with respect to the query that we have. So the system that we use can also be used to determine how well is the information retrieval system that we have built, and also to compare the performance of the IR system. We could use algorithm A, B, C, then we can evaluate the performance of each of the algorithm that we have built. In short, the retrieval evaluation is critical because this is part of the component of information retrieval. First, we build the framework on how do we represent document and query. We do have method on how to perform the ranking, and now we need to have some metric that we can use in order to measure the performance of each of the IR system that we have. In order to do that, we need to have some kind of reference collection. So in this case, we say the set of pre-selected document can be defined as D. Okay. And a set of information that need description is use I. This is the query that we want to pose. At the same time, we must have a set of relevant judgment that associate the pre-selected document with the query that we have. So this is coming from us. This is coming from the expertise in that area. If the document is related to the information that we require, the value will be 1. Otherwise, the value will be 0. So these are the reference collection composed of pre-selected document, information required, and the relevant judgment associating the information required and also the document which are relevant to the information required. We can use these metrics, precision and recall, and also single value summaries. First, we will look into precision and recall. We define what is precision and what is recall. Before we go into the definition of precision and recall, let's consider this as our foundation for precision and recall. We let I to be the information requested. This is our query. And we let R to be the set of relevant document with respect to I, with respect to the query that we have. So In this case, this is our set of all documents. Okay. So when we request for certain information, which is the I, we will be returned with the answer A. This is generated by the IR system that we have. So we have two parts here. One is the relevant document. The other one is the answer given to us. So the overlapping that we have here will be what is our focus. This is our focus. We want to maximize the area of overlapping here. So when we talk about this overlapping, this is actually the intersection of relevant document with the answer that we have. So when we define precision and recall, we use this. Okay, so we use this. So this is the definition for precision and recall. So for the recall, this is the fraction of relevant document which has been retrieved. When we look at the word here, recall means how much document that we have recall out of all the relevant documents. So this is divided by the number of relevant documents. So we want to know what is the percentage of relevant document being recalled. So that's why we have this. So this is the intersection of the relevant document and also the answer given to us, which is this part. When we talk about precision, precision is the fraction of retrieved document which is relevant. So this is the percentage of the document written to us which are relevant. So over here we're talking about out of the document written to us, how many of them belong to relevant document. So this is how precise is the information retrieval system that we use. This is how many relevant document that you have retrieved using this algorithm. So when we try to apply this one in our sample here, we actually want to plot the curve of precision versus the recall. This graph is used to compare the performance of all the IR system. It is also used to compare. So if you look at the definition of precision and recall, precision referring to how effective the IR system to retrieve all the document, and we want to know how precise. Okay, and the recall is used to measure how much percentage of the relevant document being retrieved. Okay, for example, given the query 1, so query 1, and these are all the relevant document that we have. This is predefined. So this is given to us. Okay. So we have 10 relevant documents with respect to the query number 1. When we use the new algorithm, new IR algorithm, they give us this answer in sequence, 1 up to 15 in this order. The dot 1 refers to relevant document. So how do we apply the precision and recall here? So what we need to do is we point at this position here. When we are here, the precision will be, so it will refer to the number of written document which is relevant with respect to the query. So basically this one is how many of the written documents, so at this point is 1, and how many of them is relevant. So in this case, we have 1. Okay, so when we compute the R, okay, our relevant document is always 10 here. So how many of them we retrieve at this particular point is 1. Okay. When we repeat this one in document D56, what is the precision here? At this particular point, how many documents we retrieve? 3, right? And how many of them relevant? 2. What is the recall? The recall will be, we always have 10 documents here. So 10 documents. So how many being recalled? Only 2. Okay. So similar to this one. So what is the precision here? And what is the recall? Precision will be 3/6. The recall will be, yes, Raja. Okay, Raja Farhatul. Okay, so this is 3/10. Yep, Dr. Jekyll, you are right. Okay, last one. No, not last one. Okay, we skip this one. Okay, what is this? What is the precision here? How many we have recall? No. How many document presented to us? 15, right? And how many of them relevant? 5. Yes, so 5/10. Okay. So we have 2 values here. One is the recall, one is the precision. So this is the value that we have for each of the document that we have. So what we need to do is we need to look at the precision and recall for each of the dot here. So we have 5 values. 5 values. Huh? when we tabulate this one in this table, basically what we have is all this value. Okay. So this one is carry from here. So that's why this is 100. The remaining of this 60, 70, 80, we do not have that value. So the graph of recall and precision will be looks like this. The objective of this is to maximize this area. We want to have this portion, area under the curve. The bigger its cover, the better is the IR system. All this value, like the precision, this is obtained from our previous calculation. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at second example. Okay, this is query number 2. Query number 2, based on the expertise, we have 3 documents which are relevant. And these are the output given to us, given the IR algorithm. So we have these 3. So what is the precision here? And the recall. Okay. We are talking about this one. So what is the precision here? At this particular point. Precision is 1/3. What is the recall? Okay. 1/3, 1/3. So this is basically 33%, right? Okay, what about this point? What is the P and the recall? P will be, the precision will be 2/8, right? And the recall will be 2/3. And lastly, the precision for this will be 3/15. The recall will be 3/3. So we have 3 values here for the recall and for the precision. We take this 3 value. So the first one is 33.3, which is the recall. The second one, when the recall is 2/3, which is 66, which is 60, and the value is 1/4, 25%. And the last one is when we have 100% recall and the precision is 1/5, which is 20%. So we only know about this, right? So what happened to the blank one? So we will carry this value, for example, 20, we will carry up to here. And then the 25, we will carry up to here. And then 33.3, we carry up to here. That's how we generate the table. Although we only have 3 recall and 3 precision, so we pinpoint where is the recall and precision, what is the value for the precision. The remaining of the rows we will fill up with that particular value. So when we plot, we will have this. Okay, so in the example above, the precision and recall figure have been completed for single query. So normally we will evaluate them based on several distinct test query. So in this example, we have two queries. The first one is query number 1, and the second one is query number 2. So this is the result for query number 2. This is the result for query number 1. Using the same algorithm, so to take the average performance, we just have to add up this value and take the average. For instance, so this is the performance when we use query number 1. This is the performance for query number 2. To compute the average performance of this IR, we need to add up this value and take the average. And we will get this value. So the final one will be the average value for the precision given the recall value. So this is the performance of the algorithm that we have tested. So when we compare two algorithms, for example, we have the blue and the black one, we will measure the area under the curve. In this example, we need to compute area under the curve. Then we can determine which one is the better one. Remember that we need to, the best algorithm should be like this. Because we need 100% precision for every recall that we have. So that's why the graph, the maximum, the optimum performance can be obtained when you have this, the red plotting towards this area. Okay. Okay, let's do this one. This is D21 12 68 86, right? So we have D21. So D21, what is the recall? D21, what is the recall? The recall will be 25%, right? So which is at this position. So what is the precision? The precision will be 25, right? No. Okay, reverse. We missed this one. So what we need to do is we need to mark them first. Where is the position? So we have 21, 68, 12, 36. Okay, so we we restart. So this is our recall. This is our precision. So we will record every 10. What is our precision here? Or what is the recall? 50%, right? No. The precision is 50%, but the recall is, what is the recall? Recall 1/2. No. Recall, what is recall? Recall depends on this, right? So how many of the document that being recalled here? So we only being able to recall 1 out of 4. So the recall is 1/4, right? What is the precision? The precision is 1/2. So over here, the recall is 25%. We don't have 25%, but we have here. So we take the 20 marks, we put 50%. Next one. What is the recall here? Two over 4. Okay, so 50%. 2/4, 50%. Recall is 50%. What is the precision here? Two over 4, right? So this is 50%. Next, what is our recall here? And precision. The recall is 3/4, which is 75%, but we don't have 75%. We put 70. So what is the precision? 3/8. So 3/8 is around 37.5. Last one. What is the precision here? Or recall? We need to find the recall first. The recall is 100%, right? Which is this one. So what is the precision? $15 or 13? We are talking about this point here. Okay, 4/13. So 4/13, we have 30.7. So we're not up to here. We're only up to here only. Okay. So we managed to fill in the 20, 50, 70, and 100. So what happened to the blank slot? So we copy this. So this is become 37. So this is 37. So this is 50, 50, 50. And you are supposed to have 0, 50. So this is the table generated based on this description. Then we can plot. So this is query number 3, right? Now let's take a look at single value sum. We know about precision and recall. Now let's take a look at single value summary. Single value summary, this is used for a quick checkup. Okay, so they will look at what is the recall or precision at certain position in your retrieved list. So this is just to check what is the condition. So this is what we call single precision value that can be used. So for instance, we are looking at what are the precision at position 5. Okay. Or we can look at what is the precision at document 10. So the idea is the higher the number of relevant document at the top of the ranking, more positive is the impression of the user. So they will look at this one. If you have higher position at higher position, so that means it's better. For example, for this one, we don't check each one of them, but we are looking at position. So this one is position at document 5, which is at this level. So at this level, the recall would be, so this is going back to the first one. Query number 1. So what is the precision? The precision is 2/5. So what is the recall? The recall is 2/10. Okay. So when we talk about number 10, so we are looking at this here. So the precision will be 4/10. So this is a quick checkup on how good is the IR. So we use single value to summarize the performance of the IR system that we have. So this is considered as early assessment. So when we talk about how do we measure area under the curve, we are looking at what value should we consider and how do we determine the area under the curve. So in this definition, this is the mean average precision, basically cover the calculation area under the curve. So over here, they look into the, so this is the precision of the document at the I relevant document, and they take the average. Okay, and you will do this one for all the number of query that we have. So when we apply this formula for the same problem that we have, the same example like this, So basically, we are adding up all the precision that we have. All this. Okay. So do not include this. So we divide by 10 because in query number 1, we have 10 documents, 10 relevant documents. Okay. And this is the value. This is the area under the curve that we have. If we redo this one for query number 2, okay, query number 2, where is query number 2? Okay, query number 2. So for this one, what we need to do is we need to add up the value here, divide by 3, because we have 3 documents, right? Okay, let's go through the full example of this in another slide. Okay, we have this document. The blue one is considered as relevant document. The red one is not relevant. So this is given to us in this order. So we can compute the recall and precision. So depending on the position of the blue document. Okay. And if we do for query number 2, so for example, we have this, and we can compute the recall and precision. Okay. So for map for query 1, so basically we add up the precision that we have, which is this, and divide by 5. Okay. So similar to query number 2, we take this and divide by 3 because we have 3 documents. This is relevant document. Okay. So what is mean average precision of both this? So basically we are adding them and divide by 2. Okay. Any question?
Dokter, boleh terang balik yang tadi tuh,
Yang mana satu?
yang ranking number 2.
Ranking number 2. Okay. So ranking number 2. Okay, at this position, this is 1/3 lah, the recall, right? Because we have 1, but we have 3. But the precision is based on 2, so this is 1/2 lah. So similar to this, so the recall is 2/3, and the precision is 40%, 2 out of 5. And then for this one is 100. So this one is, the precision is 3/7, right? So when we compute the means average precision for number 2, we just take the 0.5, 0.4, and 0.43 and divide by 3 because this is the number of relevant document only. then we get 0.44. So this is for query number 1. So to get the total means average precision for both query number 1 and query number 2, basically we are taking the average. So if we look at the formula here, so basically what we look is we add up the precision that we have, we divide by the number of relevant document, okay? And for each of the query, so this is for each of the query, J refer to number of query, okay? So for each of the query, we will compute this and then we add up all of them and take the average. So this is the mean average precision. Boleh?
Boleh, Dokter.
Okay. So we continue with this. So we can use the, beside that, we have other alternative on how do we show the performance between two algorithms. So we can use the recall precision. So basically we are looking at what is the precision at certain recall. Okay, so we can use this formula. So this is they are comparing what is the differences between algorithm A and algorithm B. They are looking at the differences of precision for the same recall. Okay, so at 10% recall, what is the differences for the precision? At recall 20, what is the differences? So we will have something like this. So basically, we are looking at this is recall, 10% recall, 20% recall. So we want to know what is the differences for this area. Positive means this is 8 out of 10 recall. Algorithm A is better. But for this one, this is 2 out of 10 in which algorithm B is better. Because the formula is like this. We take the, if this is positive, like if the RPA is greater than RPB, then this is better. If the other way around, that means this is better. Okay? So when we plot, we can see from this, we can see or determine which algorithm is better in terms of retrieving the document using the same query. Okay. So lastly, since we are talking about recall and precision, they have introduced this F measure to combine both recall and precision. So there are two values that we need to consider. Sometimes you have high recall but low precision. Sometimes you have low recall and high precision. So we want to optimize this. But the objective is if you have 100% recall and 100% precision, so that means the value is 1. So that is the aim. But this F measure is used to combine these two. So you're no longer looking at recall only or precision only, but we are looking both. So the value of the F measure can determine which combination is the best one. Okay. So the range of the F measure will be between 0 and 1. So this is 0 when no relevant document. Okay. And this is 1 when all ranked documents are relevant. So when this is 1 and 1. Okay. To maximize F, we require to find the best possible combination of recall and precision. So F measure can be used to measure how effective is the algorithm in terms of recall and precision. So this is your exercise. I'll let you do this one for 15 minutes. Then we'll come back and we'll go through this one together. Okay? But I don't think you have enough time. I think you have enough time. Okay? So this is based on query number 3. Query number 3 is this one. This is query number 3. So I can look at the slide from ITEL. I already uploaded them.